Hey SAT students, this is Guy from penguinprep.com. Welcome to video 3 of Leveling Strategies. As a refresher, here is our 4-step leveling algorithm. Please pause the video and take a moment to review it. If you're done, we'll move on to the first question. Alright, let's begin our explanation. The first piece is from marine biologists all the way to stubbornly uncharted. The second piece is from vast tracts to human eyes. The first piece is an independent clause because if we remove the descriptive phrase, who has logged thousands of hours beneath the ocean surface, we are left with marine biologist SE insists that the deep sea remains stubbornly uncharted. Here, the main subject is the marine biologist SE and the main verb is insists, so we have an independent clause. The second piece is also independent because the main subject is the vast tracts of the abyssal plain and the main verb is have never been observed. So we have two independent clauses, which means that the sum of the levels is 1 plus 1 equals to 2. So we are looking for a level 2 punctuation. Let's look at the options now. A. We see a comma, and a comma is a level 1 punctuation, so it doesn't meet our needs. Incorrect. B. We see a semicolon, which is a level 2 punctuation, so it meets our needs. Could be correct. C. We have a blank, so this is a level 0 punctuation and it doesn't meet our needs, so incorrect. D. Uncharted because vast has a fanboys because, and because is a level 1 punctuation, which doesn't meet our needs. So this is also wrong, and the correct answer is B. By the way, please keep track of the number of questions that you were not able to understand the explanation of. At the end of the video, I'll tell you what to do next depending on that number. Please move on to question 2 now. The first piece is from the astrophysicist to in her radio data, and the second piece is her supervisor at first suspected interference. The first piece is independent because the main subject is the astrophysicist JB and the main verb is detected. The second piece is also independent because the main subject is her supervisor and the main verb is suspected. So we have two independent clauses, which means that the sum of the levels is 1 plus 1 equals to 2. So we are looking for a level 2 punctuation again. Now let's go to the options. A shows a semicolon, and I know many students chose this, but this is wrong. Why? It's because there's not only a semicolon, but also a fanboys. It says semicolon and remember that a fanboys is grammatically significant, so it's as if you're adding a level 2 punctuation, a semicolon, to a level 1 punctuation, a fanboy, to create a level 3 punctuation. Not only have we not covered this also doesn't meet our requirements for a level 2 punctuation, so A is wrong. Looking at B, we have a fanboys and this is a level 1 punctuation, so it doesn't meet our needs. Cross it out. C shows a comma and, which is comma plus fanboys, which is a level 2 punctuation, so this meets our needs. So it could be correct. And D shows a comma, which is level 1, so it is wrong. So the correct option is C. The first piece is from botanist RWK to mere specimens. The second piece is from reciprocity all the way to them. The first piece is independent because the main subject is botanist RWK and the main verb is treats. The second piece is also independent because the main subject is reciprocity and the main verb is out to govern. So we have two independent clauses again, and the sum of the levels is 1 plus 1 equals to 2. We're looking for a level 2 punctuation. A shows a level 2 punctuation. B shows a level 1 punctuation. C shows a level 0 punctuation. D shows a level 1 punctuation. So A is the correct answer. The first piece is from the engineer to during the war. The second piece is from her invention to wireless communication. The first piece is an independent clause because the main subject is the engineer HL and the main verb is co-patented. The second piece is also an independent clause because the main subject is her invention and the main verb is anticipated. So we have two independent clauses, meaning that the sum of the levels is 1 plus 1 equals to 2, and we are looking for a level 2 punctuation. Now let's look at the options. A shows a period. A period is a level 2. So this could be the correct answer. B shows a comma is a level 1, so we cross it out. C shows no punctuation, so this is wrong. D shows a comma plus fanboys, and this is also a level 2, so it can also be correct. So we have narrowed down the correct options into 2. It's either A or D. But how do you know which one's the correct one? If you remember back in video 3, there was a 5th step that we kind of shortcutted. The fifth step was to plug in the punctuation and verify whether it actually works. When we're left with two answers like this, we have to do the fifth step. So let's plug in a period first. I want you to read it with a period. It sounds okay, right? Now plug in the comma plus so and read it with that. Now this one's a bit awkward because a comma plus so means that there needs to be a cause and effect relationship between the first piece and the second piece. Specifically, the first piece needs to be the cause of the second piece. Do you see that here? Is it because Hedy Lamarr co-patented this frequency hopping system that it anticipated modern technologies? No, there's no causal link between the two pieces, so it's incorrect to put comma so. And that is why A is the correct answer. The first piece is from convinced to measure the channel for miles. The second piece is from a survey to rest of his career. The first piece is independent. The reason is complicated. Remembered from video 3 that if a non and an independent clause are joined together by comma, we can consider the whole thing to be an independent clause. In this passage, the first piece can be divided into two subpieces. The first subpiece is from convinced to its age, and the second subpiece is from the geomorphologist to channel for miles. And the first subpiece here is a noun because there's no main subject or verb. The second subpiece is an independent clause because the main subject is the geomorphologist LL and the main verb is measured. So we here have a noun and an independent clause joined together by comma, making the whole first piece an independent clause. Now, the second piece is a noun because there is no main verb. If you look carefully, everything from that all the way to career is a descriptive phrase, so we drop it. Then we're left with a survey so exhaustive, and this only has a main subject, no main verb, so we have a noun. So the first piece is an independent clause, the second piece is a noun, meaning that the sum of the levels is 1 plus 0 equals to 1. So we need a punctuation that is level 1. Let's look at the options now. A shows a comma, which is a level 1 punctuation, so this works. B shows a semicolon, this is level 2, so it doesn't work. C shows a colon, but we haven't learned about a colon yet, so this doesn't work. D shows nothing, and that's level 0, but we need a level 1, so this also doesn't work. So the answer is A. The first piece is from the architect to bright red pillars. The second piece is from the open plaza to it needed. The first piece is independent because the main subject is the architect LBB and the main verb is lifted. The second piece is also independent because the main subject is the open plaza and the main verb is became. So we have two independent clauses, meaning that the sum of the levels is 1 plus 1 equals to 2. So we need a level 2 punctuation. Out of the options, we see that A has a period, which is a level 2, and everything else is either a level 1 or a level 0 punctuation. So A is the correct answer. The first piece is from long all the way to she found suspicious. The second piece is from a refusal to severe birth defects. The first piece is independent. The reason is because it's composed of two subpieces, one being a noun, the other being an independent clause, and they are joined together by a comma. The first subpiece is from long to hopeless, and we see that there's no main subject or verb, so this is a noun. The second subpiece, the virologist FOK withheld approval of a drug she found suspicious, is independent because the main subject is the virologist FOK and the main verb is withheld. So the first piece becomes an independent clause. The second piece is a noun because we see there is no main verb. If we remove the descriptive phrase that all the way to defects, we're left with a refusal. A refusal is just a subject alone, so this is a noun. Since we have an independent clause and a noun, we are trying to look for 1 plus 0 equals to a level 1 punctuation. Going through the options, I see that B and C are level 2 and D is a level 0. So A, which is a comma, a level 1, is the correct answer. The first piece is from primatologists to termites. The second piece is from her notes to animal kingdom. The first piece is independent because the main subject is primatologist Jane Goodall and the main verb is watched. The second piece is also independent because the main subject is her notes and the main verb is forced. So we have two independent clauses, which makes 1 + 1 = 2. We are trying to look for a level 2 punctuation. We go through the options. The only level 2 punctuation here is A. So A is the correct answer. The first piece is from the reformer to she inspected. The second piece is from asylums to public view. The first piece is independent because the main subject is the reformer Dorothea Dix and the main verb is documented. The second piece is a noun because if we remove the descriptive phrase from where to view, we are left with just asylums, which acts as a subject, but there's no main verb, so there's a noun. Since we have an independent clause and a noun, we're going to add up the levels 1 + 0, which makes 1. So we need the level 1 punctuation. Now going through the options, we see that B is a level 0, C is a level 2, D we haven't learned, so A is the correct answer. The first piece is the poet to ordinary people. The second piece is from her later verse to street corner. The first piece is independent because the main subject is the poet Gwendolyn Brooks and the main verb is abandoned. The second piece is also independent because the main subject is her later verse and the main verb is sought. So we have two independent clauses, which means that we are looking for 1 + 1 = 2, a level 2 punctuation. If we go through the options, A is a level 2, so it can be correct. B is a level 1, so it's wrong. C is a level 0, so it's wrong. D is a level 1, so it's also wrong. So the correct answer is A. The first piece is from glaciologists to tropical glaciers. The second piece is from the layered ice to glaciers melt. The first piece is independent because the main subject is glaciologist Lonnie Thompson and the main verb is has documented. The second piece is also independent because the main subject is the layered ice and the main verb is preserves. So we have two independent clauses, which means that we are looking for a 1 + 1 = 2, a level 2 punctuation. Looking at the options, we see A is a level 2, B is a level 1, C is a level 0, D is a level 1. So A is the correct answer. The first piece is from researchers to solve mechanical puzzles. The second piece is from weather to many weeks. The first piece is an independent clause because the main subject is the researcher studying octopus cognition and the main verb is have measured. The second piece is a noun because although we have the main subject they and the main verb appear, we have a subordinating conjunction in front of this thing, weather, which causes this independent clause to become a noun. Remember from video 2. So we have an independent clause and a noun, which means that we need 1 + 0 = 2, a level 1 punctuation. So looking through the options, A is a level 2, so we cross it out. B is a level 1, so we can keep it. C is kind of like a level 3 because it's a semicolon, which is a level 2, and which is another level 1. So anyway, this is wrong. And D shows something very weird that we haven't covered, so this is wrong. So the correct answer is B. The first piece is from tracing to volunteer taggers. The second piece is from a network to by mail. The first piece is an independent clause because it is composed of two subpieces. One is a noun, the other is an independent clause that are linked together by a comma. The first subpiece here is from tracing to continent and it's a noun because we don't see a main subject or a verb. The second subpiece is from the entomologist to a network of taggers and this is independent because the main subject is the entomologist Fred Urquhart and the main verb is enlisted. So we have an independent clause for the first piece and the second piece is a noun because we only see a subject. We see that who all the way to mail is a descriptive phrase, so if we drop that, we just have a network of amateur observers. This only acts as a subject, so we're lacking a main verb, and so the second piece is going to be a noun. This means that the first piece is an independent clause and the second piece is a noun, meaning that we are looking for a 1 + 0 = 2, a level 1 punctuation. Going through the options, we see that B is a level 2, C is a level 2, D is a level 0, and A is a level 1 that we require. So A is the correct answer. The first piece is from because to the archive. The second piece is from the conservator to on reverence. The first piece is a non because although we have the main subject, the manuscript, and the main verb had survived, we have that subordinating conjunction in the beginning, because. The second piece is an independent clause because the main subject is the conservator CF and the main verb is handled. So we have a non and an independent clause, meaning that we need the 0 plus 1 equals to a level 1 punctuation. Going through the options, I see that B is a level 2, C is something we haven't covered, D is a level 0, so A, which is a level 1, is the correct answer. The first piece is from the chemist to her laboratory. The second piece is from that single photograph to the structure of DNA. The first piece is an independent clause because the main subject is the chemist Rosalind Franklin and the main verb is captured. The second piece is also an independent clause because the main subject is that single photograph and the main verb is revealed. So we have two independent clauses, which means that we are looking for a level 1 plus 1 equals to a level 2 punctuation. Now we go to the options. A shows a period. That's a level 2, so this can work. B shows a comma. A comma is a level 1, so we cross it out. C shows nothing, so we cross it out. D shows a comma plus fanboys, which is a level 2, so we also keep it. This means that we have two potentially correct options. And remember that in video 3, when we had two or more potentially correct options, we had to go on to step 5, which is to plug in that punctuation into the blank and verify whether it works. We're going to plug in the period into the blank first, and then I want you to read the passage with the period inside. It sounds natural, right? So we can keep the period for now. Now I want you to plug in comma so into the blank and read the passage again. Now this one sounds a bit awkward. I'm not sure if you recognized, but so that has a very specific grammatical purpose. So that is to is used to show the purpose of something. For example, if I say, I went to the market so that I can buy a carton of milk, I'm showing why I went to the market. It's to buy a carton of milk. Now, here, in the context of this passage, did Rosalind Franklin refine her technique to show the hidden geometry in DNA? Was she able to foresee that by using this technique that she was able to show the structures that scientists couldn't find before? No. She isn't a prophet here of her own work. She couldn't foresee the future like that. So it's incorrect to say that Rosalind Franklin did this experiment for the purpose of showing the hidden structure within the DNA. The hidden structure within the DNA is just the result that came after she produced her work. So that means that comma so doesn't fit here. And the correct answer is A. Congratulations. If you made it this far, your determination is probably among the top 10% studying for the SAT. Out of the 15 problems in this video, if you couldn't understand less than or equal to 5 problems, then I highly recommend you to move on to the practice problems on penguinprep.com. If you didn't understand more than 5 problems though, I urge you to redo video 1, 2, and 3 of leveling strategies. This is because these 3 videos form the basis of everything that we'll cover later. So it's incredibly important that you build a strong foundation right now. Anyway, regardless of your results, what matters is that you took the initiative today to study 15 problems for the SAT. Great job, and I'll see you on the next lesson on non-essential clauses.